All right, everyone, time for part two. So this is where I'm going to show you how to actually build your entry after you've formatted your Works Cited page. You can see I've updated a few things. Number one is after I got all of my entries in, I changed the title to Annotated Bibliography instead of Works Cited because they are two different things. So I'm going to get that taken care of. You can see here, I just deleted some extra space. I also had to reformat what EasyBib kind of spit out for me. It does alphabetize things, but like, for example, with the I am Malala example, I needed to move it down because alphabetically now it's going to kind of come at the end. I also entered in a personal interview so you can see kind of how that would look. And I had to go type that in later. Let's pretend that I wanted to add another source later on. This is where it gets a little tricky because if I went in here and tried to add bibliography to doc again, it would delete anything that I had typed. So it would take all of this stuff out, it would take this out, it would take anything that I had added to it. I had to change the lit to go example, so I just need to be kind of thoughtful about that as I'm going through. But you can see it's all formatted, it's nice and ready to go, and pretty easy here. So now I can get started on my annotations. The first thing that I'm going to do is kind of get them formatted and set up. And I'm going to do that by entering down a line. You can actually enter 2 lines because it's okay to have an extra space between the next works cited entry. And I'm going to get ready to type my paragraph. All right. So I've already given you guys some instructions on exactly what to put in your paragraph. So let's go over to the annotated bibliography page. You can see on here that you're supposed to have a brief, descriptive, and evaluative paragraph, but what in the world does that mean? So let's go down here and see if I give you any hints. Okay, so I'm supposed to exposition, analysis, and inform library research. Okay, let's keep going, Mrs. Cooper. Let's see if this is any help. So I'm supposed to, oh, here we go. Here's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to summarize the central theme and scope of the book, article, or other source. It's supposed to include one or more sources that evaluate the authority or background of the author, comment on the audience, compare and contrast this work with another you have cited, if that's applicable, and explain how this work illuminates your bibliography topic. Okay, here's what I'm supposed to be doing. This makes sense right here. So I'm basically supposed to say why I should trust the author, who this work is written for, kind of summarize the work and its main points, and maybe compare it to something else I've read, and then connect it to my talk. Okay, I can do that. That's pretty easy. So I'm actually going to set up I like to do little bullets. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to talk about the author, talk about the audience, kind of summarize the source, and then connect it to my topic. Okay, now I'm going to do that for all of my resources. If you don't like the bullets, you really don't have to include those. I just kind of like them. So I'm going to go back here just in case anybody would be confused by that. And I'm just going to kind of type it in this way. So maybe that'll be helpful. All right, Elizabeth Bishop, One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. Now, I'm actually going to have to do some research on this because Mrs. Cooper might have said something about her in class, but I'm actually going to have to pull up a quick Elizabeth Bishop page reference. I'm going to use my good knowledge. I know I'm probably not going to go to Wikipedia unless I'm using our references. Maybe the Academy of American Poets, that sounds pretty good, or the Poetry Foundation. I'll just click this one. So I see she's a poet. I'm not reading this in depth, but I'm just scanning through here, it seems like she's pretty, important. Um, I'm just kind of reading through this and getting an idea. Oh, wow, she didn't publish a huge amount of work, but it looks like, it really connected to a lot of people. She's went to Vassar, and I'm just kind of scanning through this article. She's got a love life, kind of talks about all this stuff. She won a National Book Award. So you guys can see as I'm going through here, I'm kind of pulling out what might be important to include in the bibliography because I do not need to retell her whole life story. Okay, so over here, I'm going to say something like the title of the poem, one art, comma, a poem. So see how I'm saying what the source is, by famous American writer Elizabeth Bishop, is, and I'm trying to remember like the theme. I might have to go back and actually read the poem again. So you guys see this is going to take a little while because you're going to have to actually think about each thing that you write. I'm going to go back through and reread the poem. But I remember that the main theme is like love and loss, is a concise, having trouble spelling. There we go. Concise yet heartfelt poem piece about love and loss. Bishop, a National Book Award winner and famous artist, comma, was well known for the emotional impact of her poetry. Okay. I might say something like she was educated at Vassar, because that's a good school. Bishop reached a wide and educated audience with her straightforward tone and poems about real issues. And then I might go into one art a little bit more. I'm going to try to describe that. And I'm going to pause for a second while I type this sentence. So I did go through and finish my entry. I kind of talked about what the kind of the main message and summary of the poem. And then I spent a sentence or two where I kind of connected it to my topic. I want to check my word count because I told you guys 100 to 150 words. So I just select all of the text for that entry. And then I go to tools, word count, and I'm at 129. So this is perfect. This is all that I need. And now I'm ready to go down and type for my next one. Pretend that I am typing here. Oh, wow, this is a really good entry. And, oh, wait a second. Do you see how this like jumped in a line? Basically, before when I made this a bullet, it auto formatted it and kind of moved it back to be left aligned in a nice little block over here. If you find this happening, all you have to do is select the text of the entry, not the works cited, not the Ken Robinson or the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, but what I'm typing in here as my annotation. And I'm going to go to Format, Align and Indent, and then Indentation Options. From there, I can click, just kind of ignore these. I can click None, Apply, and all of a sudden it goes back to the left. And now I'm good to go again. So hopefully this has given you guys a little bit of an overview, and I could go up here and save it for my class.